Hey, we are back. Episode number 2. And we made a little adjustment here until we get it right. We decided to take the border off because, yesterday on the vertical one when we did it, all you could see was like this big old ugly bald head. Nobody wants to see that. So, hello, STWF Nation. We're back. Episode 2 of Seeing the Whole Field. And on today's show, we're going to look at the NFL Pro Bowl class of 2026. Of the 15 finalists, who are the first timers? Who are the 5 that I would choose to be enshrined in beautiful Canton, Ohio? And which senior what a terrible name, which senior finalist do I think should get in? We'll explore this with stats and opinions between the hash marks right now. All right, guys. Hey, it is time once again to do this. I can't wait to do this one with you here. Ladies and gentlemen, have a seat for a few minutes, whether you prefer the 50-yard line, the press box, the all-you-can-eat section, or the cheap seats. Please be sure to like this video, share it with your other fanatics just like you, and ring that bell so you never miss a video on the All Gloves Off Sports Media social pages. We're on Twitch, Spotify, Apple, Facebook, X, and of course, right here on YouTube. So, the Football Hall of Fame does it a little bit different than what the Baseball Hall of Fame does. They take all their people and then they push them down into 15 semifinalists, or they like to call them the modern era finalists. So first of all, let's rattle those 15 people off for you. Drew Brees and Eli Manning are the quarterbacks. We have wide receivers, Larry Fitzgerald, Torrey Holt, and Reggie Wayne. Running back, Frank Gore. Tight end, Jason Witten. Linebackers, Luke Kuechly and Terrell Suggs. You have offensive linemen, Willie Anderson, Jahari Evans, and Marshall Yanda. Defensive tackle, Kevin Williams. Safety, Darren Woodson. Kicker, Adam Vinatieri. And then you've got coaches and contributors, Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. We're not even going to talk about them in this particular episode because we know neither one of them are getting in. And then you've got seniors. Again, what a terrible name. Seniors. Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, and L.C. Greenwood are those people there. Now, I teased it a little bit. The 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame class is actually headlined by 4 first-time eligible people. Those 4 people, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Frank Gore, and Jason Witten. Also, let's get these formalities out of the way. The 5 players that will be voted will be revealed tonight at NFL Honors. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Time, airing on NBC, NFL Network, and available for all of you guys to stream on either NFL Plus or Peacock. So now, let's get to it. Here are my 5. I think there are 2 players that should be on everyone's ballot. And if they're not, their ballots should be taken away. And those are Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald. Let's look at Drew Brees. In 15 seasons with the New Orleans Saints, Brees won 142 regular season games and went on 9 playoff runs, including the march to the franchise's only Super Bowl championship in 2009. When he retired, he was the NFL's all-time leader in career passing yards at 80,358 and touchdown passes with 571. And the fact that Tom Brady was the only person that could ever top them kind of bolsters his case, if you ask me. He was a 2-time Offensive Player of the Year. In 2004, he was the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. In 2009, he was the Super Bowl MVP. 2006, he won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award as well. And all of this from a guy who was not a first-round pick. Let's look at Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald was one of the best receivers of his generation, if not the best. He finished with 1,432 receptions for 17,492 yards. Second all-time in both categories, behind some guy named, one of those guys that they're using to get food. Jerry Rice. Fitz also had 121 touchdown grabs, which is 6th all-time. Now, wait a minute. Before you say, wait, 6th all-time, and you're saying he's the greatest of his generation? I will ask you to name the other quarterbacks he had in Arizona not named either Kurt Warner or Carson Palmer. Yeah, I'll wait. He basically did everything he could to win the Cardinals a Super Bowl in 2008 when he racked up an absurd 546 postseason receiving yards, just the postseason, culminating in what should have been the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl, but you can't play both sides of the ball. My third, Luke Kuechly. His 5 first-team All-Pro selections, plus the 2012 Defensive Rookie of the Year and 2013 Defensive Player of the Year awards alone made Kuechly's case a no-brainer to me. Plus, he played the game with such relentless aggression. He had 690 solo tackles at a very physical position. He also, in 8 years, only missed 10 games. My fourth guy, Adam Vinatieri. No matter what my buddy from the Lights Out Sports Podcast, Cheese, says, kickers are football players too, especially when you do it for 24 years. Now, on his field goals from 29 yards and under, he only missed 7 of 207 attempts, and never more than 1 in any of those given 24 years. From 30 yards to 39 yards, he did miss 22. 22 in 24 years, so not even 1 a year. From 40 to 49 yards, he's getting a little worse here. He did miss 50, but he also made 165. And he was not great at 50-plus yard field goals. He did miss 27 of the 72 he attempted. And in his 24 career, Adam missed only 24. That's right, he only missed 24 of the 898 extra points that he attempted. He has the most points ever, 2,671 scoring, and he scored over 100 points in 21 of those 24 years in the league. He owns 4 of what I like to call the most records. In other words, the word most is in the title. Most career field goals at 599. Most consecutive field goals made at 44. Most games played at 397. And most postseason points, if you're a postseason person when you're doing these awards, 294. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're the best at your job, you should get in the Hall of Fame. And Adam Vinatieri is. So therefore, for me, he does. Who's the 5th one? I'm leaving some people out here, and I might get some upset people, but I am going to put my number 5 guy as Frank Gore. 16 seasons, 256 possible regular season games, and he was in 241 of them. He has all-time rushing yards. And when you look at the stats here, number 1 in all-time rushing yards, Emmitt Smith. Number 2 in all-time rushing yards, Walter Payton. Number 3 in all-time rushing yards, Frank Gore. He is 3rd all-time in rushing yards as far as backs are concerned. And let's name some of the ones that are behind him in this category. You ready for some of these names? Bettis, Tomlinson, Dickerson, Dorsett, Jim Brown, Peterson, Sanders. All of those guys are behind Frank Gore when you look at rushing yards total for a career. He had 9 seasons of 1,000 rushing yards or more, and he only fumbled the ball more than 3 times in 4 of his 16 seasons. So that rounds out my 5 with Frank Gore. Now, thank you guys for joining me today. Like, repost, share, and please support our other partners here on All Gloves Sports Media, like the Red Hot Reds podcast, All Era Sports with Sirhan, and of course, myself and Cheese on the Lights Out Sports podcast every Tuesday, 8 p.m. on the East Coast and 7 Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to vote Ken Anderson into the Hall of Fame. Absolutely is. You can't compare him to Josh Allen or Lamar or Burrow because he retired in 1986. So stop trying to do it. But speaking of Burrow, even though he retired in 86, Anderson still currently holds 18 Bengals franchise records. An argument can be made that in his era, he was actually better than Fouts, Dawson, Greasy, and Aikman, who are already in the Hall of Fame. And all you Cowboys people out there, you're like, wait a minute, you're leaving Witten off of the top 5 people that should go into the Hall of Fame this year, and now you're trying to tell me that Ken Anderson is better than Troy Aikman? Yes, and yes. Hit me up on the comments, and let's see what you think. In his 16 NFL seasons, Anderson completed 2,654 of 4,475 passes, almost 60%, for 32,838 total yards, 197 touchdowns, and a little bit high for me, 160 interceptions. But he also gained 2,220 rushing yards and scored 20 rushing touchdowns on only 397 carries. His completions, passing yards, and touchdown passes were all Bengals records. His 2,220 rushing yards that we already talked about are the most ever by a Bengals quarterback. Anderson led the NFL in quarterback rating 4 times during his career and led the league in passing yards another 2 times during his career. And he was selected to 4 Pro Bowls. Anderson finished his career 7th all-time in passing yards, and while many of his records have since been broken, Anderson held NFL records for consecutive pass completions, completion percentage for a single game, and completion percentage for a total season, as well as Super Bowl records for completion percentage and consecutive completions as well. Furthermore, Anderson was ranked 7th all-time for passing yards in a career at the time of his retirement. His record for completion percentage in a season stood for 27 years and was broken by some guy we mentioned earlier. Oh yeah, Drew Brees. He led the NFL in passing yards and completions twice. He led the league in fewest interceptions per pass attempt 3 times, and he ranks 11th in NFL history for postseason passer rating at 93.5. Lastly, as we already mentioned, Anderson's record for completion percentage in a single season stood for over 27 years, finally broken in 2009 by Drew Brees. All right, guys, Sunday will be the next episode of Seeing the Whole Field, when I will give you a special Super Bowl edition, where if the right team wins, then someone on that team will do something that no one else in Super Bowl history has ever done. But until then, remember, you missed 100% of the shots you don't take. So for whatever your sport is, don't be afraid to shoot, swing, or sling it. Hey, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all very much for joining us. This has been the 2nd episode of Seeing the Whole Field. Appreciate all of you. Thank you very much.